Okay, in today's class, I'm going to explain regular expressions in JavaScript. So, as I told you that these all classes are free classes and they will be conducted under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation thrice of a week, 3 days of a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sharply at 8 p.m. in June. So, I hope that these classes will be very useful to you. So, in today's class, in JavaScript, regular expressions. What is the meaning of regular expressions? A regular expression is a sequence of characters that forms a such pattern. So regular expression, what do you mean of regular expression? It is not only in JavaScript, it will be used in every language. It may be Java, Python, C, C++. Regular expression means it will be used to find out something. If you want to find anything like a text, okay, any image, uh, like that, if you want to search any text-based search. So that moment, regular expressions mostly used. So regular expression is a sequence of characters that forms a search pattern. By that pattern, we will be able to find out the things. So regular for the regular expression, short is regex. Okay, it is a short form for regular expression, regex. So JavaScript regex, it is an object, okay, to handle the regular expressions. Okay, so regex regex are be used for text searching. Regular expression, they will be used for text searching. As I told you that if you want to find out any text, if you want to search any text, so regular expressions means shortly regex will be used for text replacing, text validation. For all these purposes, regex will be used. Okay, text searching, text replacing, text validation. So now let us see a small example here. Here what? This is a variable text and text variable created using let keyword. Okay. Let keyword, as I told you that in JavaScript, variables will be created by using of let, var and constant keywords. Okay. So here one variable created that is text with the let keyword and one value string value assigned to the text. So I told you that in JavaScript, string is a data type. That is what, a sequence of characters will be represented. So in JavaScript, string will be represented either in single quotation marks and double quotation marks. So then after one more variable created, that is n. So with the let keyword, now one pattern used here, that is reg expression pattern, to find out this one. Okay, so text is a variable dot search, a method. For that, this pattern passed to that method as a parameter. Then what happened? Let us see. So that moment, if I run this code, whether I am getting anything, I'm getting 6. Okay, 6 is the result under. You are be able to see 6 number on the screen. How we are getting the 6? Regular expression, it is a, see on the web page what we are able to see. Regular expression is the header. So that header content kept in h1 tag, h1 start tag and end tag. In between of this regular expressions, title of header, it was kept. As I told you that whatever the content we will kept inside of this header element, that will be displayed on the screen. So inside of the paragraph element, this is the paragraph element, paragraph start tag, paragraph end tag. So inside of this is the content kept that will be displayed on the screen. So search string for W3 schools. W3 schools is a string. Okay. So display for the position of the match. Position of the match. So see, I told you that this ID is an attribute and it is to be valued. Some value to be assigned for this ID attribute that will be kept inside of the paragraph element, paragraph start tag. Up to here, this is the paragraph start tag. Inside of this ID attribute that is assigned with a value of demo string. Here you can keep any value. It is your name, my name, XYZ, doesn't matter. Okay, whatever the value if you want to keep, you can keep that, doesn't matter. So next word, this ID will be called, it will be kept in get element by ID method. So I told you that get element by ID method, that is the mostly used JavaScript HTML methods. By that we can find the HTML element. Okay. And that method inside of that, this demo value which is assigned to ID attribute will be passed here to find out the HTML element. And inner HTML, for this variable passed. Why? Because this is the one regular expression pattern created for that. If it is matched, to this one, if it is matched, one text is what? Within this text, any search that is to be done, search that is to be go through this text. It is a string. So within this string, text, within the string means is a text. So within this text, search to be done, okay, by a pattern. So the pattern is called regular expression. The pattern, whatever the pattern you are creating to look into that, to search in that string. This is the string in which that reg expression pattern will be matched. Okay. So one more variable created, and now that search method used here. This search method will be applied over text variable. So that's why this search method will be applied over text variable. The text variable is holding this text string. So the pattern is what? This is the pattern. To look for what? The W3 schools /I. This is one pattern. So this pattern, what it gives? This pattern looks for / means where the W3 schools word matches at the starting point. The starting point, this / indicate that W3 schools starting point. Next, one more slash, then I means index. Okay. Wherever the W3 schools index starting. Okay. So now at this position is matching at where, see, from here, if you count the characters, this is the character number 1, V, I, 2, 3, 4, 5. This white space, that is 6. So means at the 6th place, your W3 schools word, that is find out. Okay. So this method looks for this pattern, W3 schools. So if it is available in this total string, at what position, at what index position, okay, at what index position this W3 schools is found. So same at that position, Reg expression, as I told you that regex means regular expressions. It is only not only used in JavaScript, it will be used in all languages in Python, Java. Regular expressions mostly used. These are the search patterns to find out anything. Okay, to find out a string, to find out a text-based string. Okay, so let us practice this code, total code, how a reg expression pattern will be executed over a string. So by this pattern, we will be able to find out, a right match. Whenever the match will be find out, that moment it will be displayed on the screen. Okay. Now we will practice this total code. Okay. I told you that in the previous class also, up to here, this is the initial code that is to be written compulsory, because this line of code indicates that this is the HTML web page 5. Means every web page will be considered as a document. So HTML indicates that this is the HTML5 version. Then after we need to write this HTML tag, start tag. It indicates that the code is written in HTML. This code is belonging to this HTML hypertext markup language. I told you that if you want to become the good web developer, you must be familiar with the three languages. One is that HTML hypertext markup language, and second one is CSS cascading style sheets, and three is JavaScript. JavaScript mostly used for to develop the interactive and dynamic web pages, and CSS will be used for to create the to make the web styling of the web. Okay, so and then after under the body section, whatever the code written, that will be displayed on the screen. Okay, that is part of your under the body element. From here the code begins. From here the code begins. This up to here, this is the HTML code written inside of the body element. From here, up to here, this is the code of JavaScript. The JavaScript code written for irregular expressions to find out the proper matching as per that search pattern. Search pattern is what? It is the regular. Search pattern is called a regular expression. So now I want to close this total code. I want to close this total code, and we will be able to write. We will practice the code. Okay. The total code. First of all, you remove this total code. I told you that this is the web editor. This is the web editor, online web editor. So online, what is the main use of online web editor? You can write the code on the spot, and you can check back the code whether my code is being executed or not. You can simply check back that. Okay. So that is the use of online web editor. Whatever the code you write, that source code will be read by your browser. Okay, whatever the browser, if you have any computer, if you have mobile, if you have laptop, desktop, palm top. So whatever the browser you are using, it may be Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, it may be Microsoft Edge, any web browser you are using, your JavaScript code, whatever the code you write inside of your, whatever the code you write inside of your web page, web document, that will be read by your web browser. So now let us try to practice the code. First of all, as I told you that if you want to become a if you want to become a web developer, okay, perfect web developer, you need to be familiar with three languages. So first of all, HTML code. That HTML code, first I told you that you need to write what? That is one, the exclamation mark, doc type. Doc type means it indicates that this is the HTML document. This is the first code. Then after, next, come to the next, we need to write this is HTML start tag means it indicates that the code, whatever we are writing, that is part of your hypertext markup language code. And then after, we need to close with the end tag. Now one HTML element declared, and it has one element, has two tags. One is that and start tag and end tag. Now come to the next. We need to write the body. Under that, whatever the code we will write, the code, we need to say the browser, web browser, from where you need to look for what, from where you need to look for the code. The code, the web browser, it may be any browser, any Google Chrome, Mozilla Fire, whatever. So it tries to look for the code where it is beginning. So from there it reads that. So under the body tag, I will write the code for one header. That header is very important. It is not case sensitive. Inside of that, our topic is what? Regular expression. Today's class is what? Regular expressions. Okay. I have explained that what is regular expressions. That is what you know. Regular expression. It is a search pattern to find out the matching in your given string. So now if you run this code, the content which is written inside of this headers element, that will be displayed on your screen. Okay, regular expression. Now come to the point here. I told you that today's class is what you know to find. We need to create a search pattern. Okay, that pattern will be used to find out your required string, required some fraction of some text in your string. Okay, string is nothing but some sequence of characters. Within that, if you want to find something, okay. So first of all, create that one. So I told you that that is part of your JavaScript code. So you need to write that in script. So every JavaScript code that will be written inside of the script element. Okay. Every element has one start tag. This is the end tag. Now, this one and this one, these two are called one element. In Java, in programming and web development, okay, in web development, it may be HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Everything is an element. Whenever you write any element, it has two parts. One is start tag and another one is end tag. These both are called element. Okay. So next, inside of the script, we need to create a search pattern. By the help of that search pattern, I told you that search pattern is called a regular expression, short reg x. So by that search pattern, we will try to find out something which will be matched, which will be looking for a matching pattern in given string. So first of all, create a given string. So that string, any string you write, like what, suppose one string. I told you that in JavaScript, a string will be represented in either single double quotation marks. So first of all, single quotation marks. Okay, write anything like what you know. India is my country. Okay, India is my country. Now this is what it is, a text. India is my country. It is a text. So a text means a sequence of characters. Now in JavaScript, it is called a data type. Which type of data? It is a string type of data. So now within this string means within this sequence of characters, if you want to find out the country word, only the country word. Okay. So it is to be terminated first. Now this string, it is to be stored in a variable. So create a variable, any variable. Any variable means nation. Nation is a variable we have created. And now what happened? This total string is assigned in this to this variable. Now means what do you mean of this? This string is stored in this variable. But in JavaScript, while you are creating any variables, we need to use some keywords. That is compulsory. I told you that let keyword, let, var, constant. These keywords mostly used in JavaScript to create the variables. So before this, I need to write some word variable. That is what var keyword, let keyword. It is up to you, whichever the keyword. Let, if you use the constant keyword, what do you mean of this constant means whatever the value you have stored in this variable that is fixed. You can't in further you wouldn't be able to change it. You will not be able to change. So one variable created be either the constant key or let where whatever that is up to your requirement. Now come to the point. Once one variable created that is assigned with a string type of value. Now within this total string, I want to find country. So now we need to do what? We need to create a pattern. First of all, the pattern is what, suppose the pattern, see like this. Okay, a pattern what? This is the pattern. Okay. What do you mean of this? Okay. This is the search pattern. So by this, what do you mean of this? Means within this string, I want to look for this word where it is starting. Means if you write like this, it means within this string, if any country word, before this one white space is there, only one white space. If you create the pattern like this, so look into this string. Here, country word, before that two white spaces are there. This is the pattern. This pattern is called a regular expression, shortly called regexp. So what do you mean of this? Within this given string, a country word to be searched. Before this word, two white spaces are there. Understood? Now, then after this pattern, we need to store in a variable. Create any variable. Suppose if you create a variable like search is a variable. Now this variable is this search pattern assigned to this variable. So I told you that in JavaScript, there is a rule while you are creating the variables. Whenever you want to create the variables, you need to use var keyword, let keyword, constant keyword. Without that, no any variable will be created. Okay, now come to the point. So let keyword used here to create this variable. Now this search variable is stored with this pattern, search pattern. This is called regex. Then after semicolon. Now, okay. Now you have done. Now we need to get a display on the screen. We need to get a display on the screen. I told you that in JavaScript, mostly used one method is that is the get element by ID method. This is the mostly used JavaScript HTML method to find out HTML element. Then after inner HTML attribute will be used to find out the content. Okay, now let us use that get element by ID method. This is the predefined method of your predefined method. So as it is, whatever the structure of that method, we need to write like this. If you change any characters, that method will not be properly executed because that is the predefined method. Already one method, it was created within that some block of code written. I told you that whenever I was teaching about the functions and methods, that moment clearly I have told that, okay, about the predefined methods and functions. So get element by ID, it is a method of mostly used JavaScript HTML method to display the to find out the HTML element. So within this one ID attribute that is very compulsory, by that ID value. ID is an attribute. By whatever the value you will assign to that ID attribute, that value we need to pass for this get element by ID method as a value, as a parameter. So by that ID, this method will be able to find out that HTML element. Without that value, don't expect that HTML, this get element by ID method will be able to find out your HTML element. We compulsory we need to pass that value in this method get element by. So first of all, before this, we need to create here where in paragraph section, I told you that paragraph section inside of this ID attribute is assigned with any value. It is your choice, whatever the value you want to pass for that ID attribute. It is up to you. Okay, whatever the value you want to pass, that same value, it may be XYZ, your name, my name, was anything. It may be fruit, any fruit name, anything. Whatever the value you will pass to that ID attribute, that value to be given to your that is what your method. Okay, so now so now come to that, pass any value. Suppose you simply give my name, there is no any problem. Okay, Vasu. Now this is the value I have passed to ID attribute, and then this is to be closed, this paragraph element to be closed. Okay, now what we did here, this value I have kept inside of this paragraph element start tag. If I keep this value inside of this element start tag and end tag, so what happened here, if you run this code, there is no any problem. But if you give this value, if you have written this value inside of this, okay, so what happens, see here, you are getting that value on the screen. So why? Because I told you that if you write anything inside of this paragraph element start tag and end tag, that will be displayed on the screen. So don't do like that. We need to use that value for this ID attribute, so that you need to write inside of this paragraph element start tag. Now the same value we need to pass here. What the value we have passed to ID attribute here also is the same. So now see, try to understand, if I have given any space here, if what do you mean of this? This is one space, empty space kept just before the Vasu. Vasu is a value. Before that, one white space I have kept. The same you need to pass one space here. Otherwise, na, this method wouldn't be able to find out that HTML element. Okay, as it is, we need to pass. So suppose, so close this space. So here also close. Now what happened? This get element by ID method, this is the part of your HTML document. Every web page is a document. So this method is, we need to say that this method is part of a document. Generally, document, the web page will be represented as a document. So document dot get element by ID. Now, by this method, we will be able to find the HTML element, not content. Suppose if you want to find out the content, by this method, we are able to find out the HTML element. But then within that element, content is there. If I want to find out that content, so surely I need to use inner HTML attribute. Inner HTML attribute, and that attribute must be passed with the search pattern. Wherever the search pattern is there, that search pattern is assigned to which variable, that variable value to be, that that variable name are to be passed here. Okay, that is what. So now what happened here, try to understand. Simple code we have written for the search pattern, that is what your regular expression. So the code whatever I have written here, the same code, let us look for whether it will be applicable, whether the code result will be executed, the result will be executed. See what I'm getting here, what I'm getting here. So this country word that is displayed on the screen, okay. But see, whatever this country has, before this country, how many spaces are there? One space. So if I here I have given two spaces. So you do one thing, one space. Now what I'm getting here? Country word I'm getting, na? So if I remove as it is, I have written. So what do you mean of this? By this search pattern, I need to get what see here. If I use small keyword I, so this I is indicates what this I indicates that the index position, the index position. Okay, see, but if your code is not properly executed, the search pattern I have written, this is for what purpose? In this string means sequence of characters, a country word that is to be found at exact which index, that index number to be displayed here on this screen. If your code will not be executed, that moment don't worry yourself. You need so the code we have written. See here, this search, it is a variable. It is a variable. That variable we need to mention here search dot search is a variable search dot. Okay, within this variable, if you pass this, if you pass this, so this pattern will, whenever if you pass this pattern to this search, so this search method is part of this variable. If you are confusing yourself, you change this search, because here search, one more search you are looking for. So this change, this is what, for simply you write is a X. Don't confuse yourself. So write here X. Okay. So within this variable, so you pass this. This is what you copy this and you paste here. So now what is happened here? Okay. So let us look for our code, whether it is being executed or not. That moment. So what we are getting here, we are getting how many, this is how many letters, whether it will be able to see on the screen. So we are getting what? Somewhat value. That is what S. S is a one letter I am able to see on the screen. But why this letter? Now I don't expect this. Okay, remove this. Okay. If I run this, okay. So now actually what happening here, we need to get that result properly. That moment we need. Okay. So now let us see how the code that is being executed. So now we are getting what? This is the 12 number we are getting. So before this 12 number, we can simply keep a string. That string is what you write that string, it is to be displayed on the screen. One string, uh, the the length of the length of the length of the index, not length, the index of word country. Word country begins. Country begins. Okay. So that moment. So what we are getting here, the index of word country begins. The index of word country. Country, let us keep somewhat quotes, single quotes. So we want to specify. So this word country, at what index it begins? So the index of word is what? Country. Country word, it begins in the string total. The string name is India is my country. India is my country is the string. So for this string, this is the search pattern. This is the search pattern we have created. This is the search pattern we have created. And that search pattern, this pattern will be executed in this string. Okay. So what about this search pattern? What is the meaning of this search pattern? This search pattern, this method search, that is the method of this variable nation, and the nation is assigned with a string. And within this string, we need to implement this pattern. This pattern is called regular expression. By this pattern, what is the meaning of this pattern? This pattern is applied to this search method. The method is part of your nation variable. This method looks searches in this string for this pattern. The pattern is what? At where the I means index, where the index of country begins. So the index of word country begins at 12. If you count from here, I1 to India 5, up to here 5, this space 6, 7, 8, 9, this space 9, 10, 11, this space 12. So at 12 index, at the 12th index, the country word begins. Understood that? So this is called search pattern. That search pattern is this. This pattern is called regular expression. This pattern will look into this string. This pattern will be searched by this method of this. This method will be executed over where nation variable. That nation variable holds a value. Understood that? So this is the class today. This is the very interesting class in JavaScript for the regular expressions. If you, whenever you study Python, Java, here also you will find regular expressions. You need to study regular expression. So for searching of the strings, okay, to find out any characters, any string, any text like string. So these regular expressions mostly will be used. I hope that this class will be useful to you. And thank you. Have a nice day. My number is 91103988650. And we will meet on next Friday with another topic in JavaScript. So until JavaScript, it is to be continued with a lot of topics. Whenever JavaScript completed, we will go for any another language, C, C++. Already C++, some word I have completed. Some are like requesting for data structures and algorithms, but problem is what, if you want to learn data structures and algorithms, first of all, you must be familiar with any one language. You must be familiar with any one language, because if you are familiar with Java, over Java, you can study the data structures and algorithms. If you are familiar with Python, and you can practice over the Python data structures and algorithms. Okay. For every language, syntax is different. Okay. Every language syntax is different. So, okay. Thank you. Jai Hind. I hope that this class will be useful to you. So my number is 9110398650. If anybody wants to discuss with me, anything you want to comment, you can make a call to me. Have a nice day. Thank you. Jai Hind.